What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about OnyxCoin today, XCN USD. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here, and let's get into it. Okay, it is the 14th day of March. And here we are, sitting at about $0.005 with roughly 9 hours and 50 minutes left in the day. We have pulled back a little bit. We found some resistance over the past few days here at about 0055, 0054, but that's okay. It's not a problem to find higher lows, I promise you. Getting lower lows, that might be a problem, and in which case, again, we're in a very kind of flexible realm of our opinions here, right? We are bullish until proven otherwise. And even then, there's still a chance where we get a slightly lower low and then we recover. Now, going into the release of Goliath on the 27th, I would anticipate that we climb. I would anticipate that the price recovers. And I don't want to bore you with the details, right? We've gone over this before, whether it's a pump like this, which was a 52% pump, or a pump like this, which is a 200% pump, or something in between. I expect we get something that is rather exciting over the coming weeks. It would be very disappointing to see lower lows. We are in tricky times in the markets. We could see like a slightly lower low and then we recover immediately. Sometimes that happens, right? Here, it's exactly what we did. Before this massive pump, imagine here, all I was talking about was a pump to this area, which is exactly what we did every single day. We were just talking about this exact target, actually. Right before then, we had a little dump that took us to a slightly lower low. Imagine if that was your moment of discouragement that caused you to just get out and say, I'm done. You missed this whole move. So could it happen here? It happened there. Yes, it can happen. It can. It's not that it will happen, right? It didn't happen over here, but it can happen. If we're looking at this on the short-term stuff, we're looking at this on the 1 hour time frame. We do have some gaps to the upside, which I think is rather nice to see, right? You guys know how I feel about these 1 hour gaps. We've got a gap down here, a little gap right there as well. There are no gaps to the downside at all. There's no gap ups that haven't been filled, so that's nice to see. These gaps are not crystal balls. They're not prophecies. They do not have to be respected. OnyxCoin could never return to those prices ever again. But statistically speaking, these gaps are pretty telling, and they do imply that we will see some recovery at least. It could be from here, and then we move down, a lower high in this kind of fashion. It's not crazy at all. It could be, an implication that we have a little bit lower to go. We find support, and then maybe at a later date we come up and we fill those. We don't want to see gaps that are left behind to the downside. We don't want that. We want gaps to the upside are definitely welcome. And higher lows are definitely welcome. We look at this here on the 1 hour. The RSI is finding a bit of a double bottom here. Overall, the RSI is very neutral, and overall, the price action is very neutral as well. But you are taking a bullish stance because we are getting consistent readings above the 50, right? Like above this line, most of our readings have been above the 50, and we've even gotten overbought. We're not getting oversold, and as much time as we have spent below the 50, it's pretty neutral overall. We definitely are, the advantage is definitely to the bulls, not to the bears. And looking at this here, we've clearly been finding support in this area time and time and time again. Can we go lower? Yes. But if we do, likely not by much. Stochastics look positive here. I would expect that we do have a little bit of a bullish time today, Saturday. A little bit could mean we go, we're at 005, we go up to 0052. Nothing too exciting, but a little bit of fun. Again, maybe we fill these gaps and then we come back down lower. I really wouldn't be surprised in the least if we did see slightly lower prices here. We don't have to just because I'm saying that, right? But if we kind of look at this like arc of a trajectory here, we could come down and find support there. It's something like that. It doesn't even have to be exactly off of that notion of that curve. We could be respecting the fibs, and maybe we see something at 00478, 00467. I don't think that we go below 00467. I don't want to see us go below there because then we're kind of taking out the higher low dynamic here. The real low that matters would be here and here, but still I'd prefer it if we stayed above 00467. We are in our golden ratio zone right now. From this low to high, we've already gone through and found support at the 886. And now we've gone back above the golden ratio and are looking to find support here. This process is actually very bullish, you guys. It's actually a really good thing as long as we stay above the golden ratio. There's still a lot of positive things to take away from it, even if we come down here, but I think it looks the best if we stay above the golden ratio. So I would like to, if I had it my way, I'd like for the price to not go below 0.0049. That doesn't mean that it's detrimental. That doesn't mean it's a problem if it does. If I had it my way, I would like to see the price hold up above 0.0049. If it does, and we get above 0.0547, likely from there, that implies that we are done with this little range. We are going to break out. We're going to see prices that are above here, and I doubt that we get held up by this point of resistance. We get above 0.06, that's the magic line of the sand, where this Adam and Eve pattern really starts to come to life. And I mean, what a beautiful Adam and Eve it is, right? Like that V, that U, it's perfect. It's literally perfect. And the Adam and Eve is validated once you get above this point here. So again, just the prospect that comes from holding support in this golden ratio is the first step. Getting above the 236 is the next step. We want to hold above 0.0049. We want to get a 4-hour close, not just a wick. We've had the wick. We want to close above 0.0054. Sorry, 0.0547. Once we have that, we basically confirmed this as a bounce from this area. And all we're looking forward to at that point is breaking above here. Because once we break above that, the Adam and Eve is enacted. And this Adam and Eve, it's not the biggest pattern, but it will promote some growth. We look at this from a low to a high. This is how you measure an Adam and Eve pattern. You take it to the breakout point right there. That should take us up to 0.0795. Measure moves are ideas. They're not requirements. They're not prophecies. They're not written on a stone tablet in a cave in the desert somewhere. They're just ideas. You can fall short of that idea. You can hit that idea right on the head and then still continue to build. You can blast right through that idea. It's completely possible, okay? But we would at least expect to come, well, maybe not at least expect, the idea would be here, and lo and behold, there's some resistance right here, some resistance right here, some support right here, all in the general area where this quote-unquote idea is, right? It's like literally right in the heart of that. So that's certainly promising. It's not the most exciting thing, right? We're not even getting above 1 cent with that, but from the current price, that's like a 60% pump, guys, right? That could be what we see between now and the release of Goliath mainnet. If it's not there, likely it's going to be higher. That'd be my assumption. I don't think that we stop lower. But again, we can. It's not a problem. Something that's above a 50% pump should be coming our way, I think, within the next 12 days here. Stochastics have cooled off. We're in the oversold area. The RSI is building. We're looking good overall, you guys. I know that we've broken out of this little trend right here, and that's not necessarily ideal. But overall, we still have higher lows. It's not a problem, right? In this kind of context, we broke out of this, but we're still actually holding this trend pretty well. We're actually right where you'd expect to hold support. The 1 hour time frame makes me think that we will move up right now, so it all looks good to me. And with this dynamic, you didn't get overbought, you got a little bit overbought, you got a little bit more overbought. If we're getting very overbought here, we're getting consistent readings, guys. These deeper readings in the overbought zone are consistent with breakouts. What are we just talking about? A breakout with our Adam and Eve pattern. So it all lines up. Goliath mainnet, it all lines up. Who was it? I want to give a shout out, actually. You post about OnyxCoin, I'm going to see it on X probably. Maybe not every account. There's thousands of you out there. But if you post about it, I'm definitely likely to see at least some of them. And well said, sir, for cryptology, XCN. I've seen him post a couple things on XCN recently that I like, that I think are proper, informationally backed opinions. I don't know. And this isn't even an opinion here. These are all facts right here. But Goliath is specifically engineered for banks and financial system providers, aiming to meet the rigorous performance and compliance requirements of institutional sector. The technical white paper for Goliath outlines a platform capable of achieving 100,000 transactions per second per shard, with a total network throughput comparable or exceeding that of Visa, with processes approximately 24,000 transactions per second. That's Visa's transactions per second, which is not hard to beat. The reason why, by the way, fun fact, the reason why Visa's transactions per second is even that high is because they do use crypto. They do use blockchain. They have their own blockchain. They do use it. Nobody talks about it, but they've been using it since 2018. Crypto is here to stay, but it's like that's not that big of a deal for crypto because they're not using your XRPs or your XCNs for it, right? But higher throughput, higher transaction speed, cheaper cost, right? if it goes from Visa charging these companies 0.1%, but Goliath would charge you 0.01%, that's a 99% deduction in fees and costs. And the higher up you scale that money ladder, the more money you're saving, right? So, I mean, that's a big deal. And it literally is meant for institutional onboarding. And in the bear market, guys, institutions are going to be looking for, just one last shout out to Cryptology, XCN. They're going to be looking for institutionally graded projects that are backed up by big players. Pantera Capital invests in Chain, that they are partnered, not partners, but are they partnered? I think they are partnered. I know that they at least invest with Chain, and Pantera Capital is a huge institution. Chain itself is a bit of an institution in the crypto space, and that's our developing team. Anyways, looking at this here, I would expect that we continue to grow. Do your research, right? Do your research. If you're wondering why people are excited about Goliath, do your research. Go ahead and read all about it on. You can go to the Onyx page itself, onyx.com. Let's see here. If you wanted to do it yourself, I really need to make a fundamental video, man. It's been too long. Maybe I'll do that sometime this week. But you go to onyx.org, you can read all about it, right? All about it. I didn't remember if it was onyx.com or onyx.org. That's why I didn't want to say go to onyx.com and send you to a scam website. Anyways, 4-hour time frame. Man, hold on, guys. All right, so the stochastics are reset. The RSI looks like it's at a good point to bounce, and the MACD is, well, it's basically useless right now, actually. But it looks positive overall. It does look bullish, but it is useless because we're choppy and sideways. Daily time frame, RSI is likely to keep moving up. Stochastics look weird, but so does the price. I'm not really getting too much of a hit off of the daily stochastics. In all honesty, it looks like we'd actually find resistance here. Hopefully we can overcome that. Hopefully the RSI can continue to build, and again, if we can get in this overbought zone, I think we'll really start to see some excitement happen. The MACD is really promising here on the daily time frame. We've got this higher trend, higher low trend with these oscillators from dating back to June of 2025. We're about to cross above the zero. What happened here when we crossed above the zero? What happened here when we crossed above the zero? And what happened here when we didn't, when we rejected? Let's analyze all that, because these are really the two avenues we have. We're either going to cross above it, or we're gonna find resistance. And well, the second option wouldn't be fun, I would assume. So let's look at this here, okay? Looking at this in our price, we crossed above the zero here. That was our 52% move now, or from over there. We were just talking about a 50 to 60% move here. Makes sense. Right? We crossed above the zero here. That was a fantastic move up. We rejected the zero, and I wouldn't say that just because we saw this drop that would imply that we see the same level. Like, I wouldn't take it tit for tat like that. But what we can say objectively is you had a flat base, you rejected the zero, and you went lower. What we can say is that. So that would mean likely lower prices. We have a flat base, more or less. If we reject the zero, we will probably go lower. And when I say lower, like below 0.004. Okay. Could we go below 0.003? Sure. Could we go below, like, maybe down to like 0.002? Sure. That's even possible as well. But that's, again, why we don't want to see the rejection. The most recent time that we crossed above the zero, we saw this move, which was, again, a 200% move as well. The world is our oyster. We can mess it up, or we can run brilliantly, excitingly in this time of turmoil in the crypto markets and really stand out like a shining star in the dark. We'll see. I have a lot of hope. I have a lot of faith and optimism in this, but we'll just have to wait and see. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.